here we are on Daybreak, and in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Zerg player from NSHoSeo. It is Freaky. He's trying to tie things up against his opponent. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, our red Protoss player from SlayerS, winner of game number 1. It is Puzzle.
You know, I gotta say too, it actually hurts me really badly to have to say negative things about the carrier. Because it was by far my favorite unit in StarCraft Brood War.
Okay.
It was just, I just loved using them. They were so cool. But in StarCraft 2, you know, there just isn't really a place for them, I feel. You know, it's very, very hard to fit them in at the right occasion. I feel like you just need to have a big lead to really make them work. But
well, everything from their build time, from the way that interceptors are launched, and the way that they're forced to return, it's just, you know, they have to be used very situationally. There's been some pro players, though, that have said they're underutilized and that they do have more situations than people realize, but I think it's just all in execution.
Yeah, I mean, eventually maybe somebody will find this amazing, you know, build to get carriers out and do a lot of damage with it. But so far, you know, it just hasn't been working too well. And once Heart of the Swarm comes out, that may be the end of it for the carrier, unfortunately. I mean, the Tempest does look really cool, though, but it'll be a little bit bittersweet to see the carrier go if that happens, but hopefully on to bigger and better things.
Well, we'll see here, as we know we're going to have a mothership core at the very least, which I'm kind of looking forward to.
Oh, man, yeah, that's going to be neat.
And looks like Freaky, of course, is going to pool first. It is Daybreak. This is kind of the quintessential 3-base, no-gas map. And we'll see how Puzzle wants to react to it. I mean, there's a couple of reasons for it. It's pretty easy for you to take 3 bases as a Zerg player, but doubly, it's very hard to hold on to a third as a Protoss. I mean, you have multiple ramps that are running in to your base, so you either have to wall off an extremely wide route, or you have to build structures in towards your nexus, put down a few too many photon cannons. There's just a lot of things that kind of work against you trying to defend super aggressive roach play.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're taking a third base as a Protoss, that means you're not going to be, you know, in return putting a whole lot of pressure on the Zerg player as well. So that means the Zerg gets their third up without any issue. And on this map, if the Zerg decides to go for that very early Roach Max, they can really do a lot of damage potentially, as long as their control is good too. I mean, it's dangerous for Protoss on a map like Daybreak to kind of leave Zerg alone without any sort of hindrance.
And it looks like he decides to make 6 lings at a time, and Extractor Tricks there to get out his queen. Nice and early, no real surprise, of course. And there we have Photon Cannon number 1 coming up, and it's going to finish in about 30 seconds, which should be just about the time these Zerglings show up. He may actually have to put up another gateway, but this shouldn't do that much damage to Puzzle. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to full wall right away.
Yeah, just kind of staying safe right now with that gateway. That's definitely a good idea. He's going to let that gateway build until the cannon finishes and then cancel it. Put down a Cyber Core probably fairly soon. And, oh, we actually had to cancel it a little bit earlier.
Oh, wow.
And the Zerglings actually get in. One of them does die immediately, it looks like, and they will be able to sneak into the main without taking too many losses, too. So these Zerglings could end up being a bit annoying for Freaky.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that was kind of interesting decision there out of Freaky, or sorry, out of Puzzle to pull his probe away so far. I think he could have left it there for a little while as a little bit of insurance, but as it stands now, there's 4 lings that are inside of his base. These aren't going to kill that many probes, but of course it is going to pull him off of the mining time continually over and over again, and will just serve to be very annoying.
Yeah, that's definitely the big challenge right now for Puzzle, is to just kind of deal with the annoyance of the Zerglings, constantly having to micro his probes, constantly having to micro his zealots as well. And Freaky's going to get just a lot of good information from this too.
I'd like to point out that Freaky has accumulated 600 resources now. He hasn't put down, okay, he decides to put up 6 drones, but you know, he was supply blocked there for a second. He decided not to put down a 3rd base. I'm not really sure what his attention was focused on. Maybe just these lings, but
well, yeah,
that was a little weird out of him.
Yeah, I mean, he is a newer player, quote unquote. Obviously, you know, he's had results that show that he is a good player too. But I feel like every once in a while we do see Freaky make some, you know, mistakes in macro, things like that we don't see a lot of other Zerg players make at the GSL level. So I feel like he's still kind of coming into his own a little bit as a Zerg player. Oops, gets his Zergling surrounded, and that's going to be the end of that. But overall, he's been able to do some harassment. So, oh, look at this, a gas, 4 gas going up, and no 3rd base. Oh, except for the one he's taking right now. But the interesting thing is that he is getting 4 gas before his 3rd base. That's almost unheard of it. And I've got a feeling that we're going to have to see that Infestor style. I mean, if it was anyone else, I'd be like, well, maybe it'll be Mutas. But I think with Freaky, you know, he is going to want to get those Infestors fairly quickly.
This just feels so unoptimized, though, out of Freaky, I have to say. I mean, he built up to 600 resources there. then decided,
It's
well, I'm
freaky.
supply blocked, so it is a bit freaky.
Yeah.
I'm supply blocked, 6 drones, I don't know, a few
Supply
gas
blocked
geysers,
again, too.
not really sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is just
Oh,
really,
man.
really weird out of him.
He's actually supply blocked with no overlords on the way because he doesn't have enough to afford any. Now just finally starting one, and he loses another overlord too. Oh, Freaky, man, he is actually making some pretty big macro errors in this game so far. He's going to have a very creative, very well-controlled mid to late game if he wants to come back from this, because everything he's doing right now is really, really holding him back.
Well, we'll see what he plans to do. I mean, 3 overlords popping up at about the same time, so the concerns about being supply blocked should start to be alleviated in a bit. He's investing in some upgrades, but he's going to have a lot of built-up gas with not a lot to spend it on here in a bit.
Yeah, which kind of leads me to think that it'll definitely be either Spire or Infestors, and knowing that it is Freaky, he'll probably, go for Infestors. He is taking out that forward pylon. That helps with Puzzle putting down another one. Oh, man, Puzzle in a great position to deny this third base right now, and Freaky with just not a lot of units out on the field. This is looking a little bit awkward for our Zerg player here.
We'll see if Freaky, no, okay, did not cancel, so now he's actually back in time to defend. Puzzle wasn't choosing his targets, maybe just waiting for the Stalker reinforcements to start making their way in. So Freaky now finally going through a couple of the Zealots, just has to deal with the Stalkers now at the back. It may have the firepower to do so, especially sitting on creep. A Puzzle should be able to kite those for a while. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh,
distance transfuse.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to lose that Roach, and he kept it alive. That's always kind of cool to see those little touches by the Zerg players. I mean, Freaky has shown that one of his big strengths is unit control, and he's certainly showing it now.
Yes, he is. And as it stands, let's see, there's a few Stalkers in there. Looks like 7 of them in total. He will kill the forward pylon, though.
Defense.
So, yeah, Freaky holds, doesn't lose this base. Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, not bad. And now he can put a little bit of return pressure on his opponent. There is going to be an infestation pit on the way. Don't know if I really like him attacking with these Zerglings. It's not really enough to do damage efficiently enough, I think, to these Stalkers, but he's going to give it a try anyway.
Yeah, at the very least, he pushes those units all the way across the map. So make sure that he's not going to receive any sort of return pressure. But still, I think I have to agree with you. He was a little cavalier with those links there. Yeah. But for now, Pathogen Glands coming up, continuing to drone up. He is sitting on 59 drones at the moment with another 4 on the way. Back on Puzzle side of things, though, more Photon Cannons up at the front. Looks like he really doesn't want to die right now. And he's sitting on 7 gates with a Twilight Council and +2 coming up. Now, excusing the fact that, of course, oh, no, I'm sorry. Blink is finished up. That's right. It was being researched before during that attack. Never mind. So big old 7-gate +2 Blink.
That's right. Puzzle's going to try to come out and end the game right here. Doubt we're going to see a third expansion from our Protoss player this game. And the question is now, will Freaky be ready to defend this? He's got 6 Infestors on the way. They're going to pop out after Pathogen Glands finish, so they'll be able to use their Fungal Growth spell immediately upon spawning. But will they get there in time? That's the question. This is going to be a very, very strong all-in, and look at this, Freaky just abandoning his third, saying, nope, can't defend that one. I'm just going to have to take my chances at the natural.
Yes, he is, and the Infestors for him are just about to pop up as well. A fair number of them, as a matter of fact. It looks like he'll start to cut off these forward pylons, which is very, very nice, but he has to deal with this large army up at the front. A few of the Infestors are finished. Yeah, actually zoning out a lot of forces. Fungal's actually catching quite a few units, though. Those were pretty good Fungals. Yeah. Blink up with a few of those Stalkers, and there's still 2 Spinecrawlers sitting there, whittling those units down just a little bit. Zerglings to try to counterattack from the back, though, were not enough to get any damage done. The Infestor count is starting to drop.
Yeah, and everything else is going to start to drop pretty soon, I think. Force Field on the ramp ensures that no units come in from the main, and all the probes coming off the line right now. Force Field's not helping a lot, of course, but I think we are going to see the game end very, very soon. He just lost like all of his drones.
Yeah, he did. Let's actually take a look at the workers killed.
Yeah, 17. Yeah. Well, not really all. Maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but it's exciting. I can't help it. Puzzle absolutely dominating Freaky in this game right now.
It's a lot of death and destruction. I have to agree with you. So a few of the sentries are going to die. No, actually, I can't believe all of them stayed alive. But there's GG. SlayerS taking game number 2. So 2 games in a row for them. Good way to start the set.
No.